Welcome to another guitar hang. Yeah, welcome in. My name is Brent Groh. I talk about my guitar journey and how that's going and things I'm experiencing. If you're a guitar player, welcome in. So this week, I think kind of where we left off last week, I was talking about, I had just gone to pick up my guitars from Brian at Tree Strings. Shout out to Brian in Red Wing, Minnesota at Tree Strings. Awesome guitar luthier, works on all my guitars. I had gotten both my Jazzmaster back that's been intonated and the nut got re-glued. I think that was really, I think he said he lowered the pickups maybe a little bit on that one. And then I also got my Jason Isbell Telecaster. Jason Isbell Telecaster. I'm going to correct myself every time until I get his name right. Jason Isbell Telecaster. That had a yellow Dunlop pick piece under the neck as a shim that was removed, which lowered down the entire action on the guitar. And then the frets, everything past like 15 was just kind of brushed down a little bit to be a little bit skinnier frets to kind of compensate for some of the things that happen with bolt-on necks and the neck sinking a little bit. There's generally kind of a little pocket there to get some extra clearance for the action on those high notes. I think that was the major thing, was the shim under the neck. He said 2 frets on that guitar were kind of coming unglued, so he re-glued those. So I've been playing both of those guitars basically all week long for different things. And, you know, just as I have said before and will say again many times, and I'm slightly changing the way I'm saying it. I used to say, like, I could get my guitar 75% of the way there and the other 25% is the guitar luthier doing their magic. Maybe it's more like I get it 25% of the way there and then they do 75% of the work. Because man, when you have a good luthier that you trust and they go through your guitar with a fine-tooth comb and they kind of find these little wacky things about it and they kind of solve them for you and you get it back, your guitar just plays so nice and so easily. I had this conversation with Corbin, the bass player for No Regard, during band practice, because he will comment, you know, like he specifically will notice the difference. The drummer, John, I don't know if he noticed or not. He didn't say anything, but Corbin will kind of say it, and the question came up of like, oh, but would you do that on a cheap guitar? And my answer in that situation is like, the cheap guitar is probably the one you want to do it on more. You know, the Fender, you know, when you're paying $1,800 for the Jason Isbell Telecaster at the Fender factory in Mexico. I'm not sure where the Squier factory is at. It's not in Mexico. I don't think they use the same stuff. That can't be right. But regardless, the stuff with the Fender name on it, they probably take a little bit more time with, I would imagine, than they do on some of the Squier stuff. I think, you know, Squier stuff is get it together and playing correctly, but don't really worry about any of the little details. I would think the higher end Fender stuff, and especially the American Fender stuff, that stuff should really be paid attention to. It's the fine details. It's making sure every fret is glued down, and that the edges of the fingerboard are kind of rolled off and comfy feeling, and that the pickups are perfectly in place, where like I just can't imagine that the Squier stuff is held to the same standard. I'm sure it's close, and they've gotten way better over time. I'm not dogging on Squier stuff. Obviously, I have a guitar of theirs, and it's amazing what you can get at that price point. But I think that's where it really comes in, more importantly, to have a luthier go through it, because they can kind of cover some of those fine details that maybe Squier didn't take as it came out. You know, maybe that my nut on that guitar was unglued or not glued in quite as good, and so nobody took the time to like pull it back out and re-glue it. But then he was able to do that, and then he was able to kind of take care of some of the fret work and get it intonated and really have it playing the best it can. And it takes that kind of, you know, I think that guitar is around $400 because it's like a special edition Squier. It's a 40th anniversary one. So that one's a bit expensive for a Squier, but it takes that guitar and really kind of makes it play like I kind of hold it up alongside my Mexican Strat. You know, they're very different guitars. They don't do the same thing, but they both play great. Every time I pick them up, I enjoy playing them. The Jazzmaster does a different thing for me. I use that. It's in standard. I use it to play Chris Stapleton stuff through a Princeton Reverb amp. It's very much my learning guitar / clean kind of mess around with instrument. It's to have a Jazzmaster around, experience what that sound is like, and inform my playing in a different way. I can write some different things on that guitar, and ultimately is the guitar I plan to take to the new band's band practice tomorrow, which I still don't know the name about, but that's, or not tomorrow, Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, but yeah, on Thursday I'm trying out for a new band, and that Squier is kind of the guitar I plan to take with. I ran it through the AC-15 with my Cestus treble booster, and even with like the cool thing about treble boosters, I don't know, you know, what kind of happens in that circuit, but even like something like a Jazzmaster cleans up on the volume knob, you know, like that Squier, it cleans up on the volume knob really well with the Cestus into the AC-15, and it gives me kind of acoustic, jangly type sounds. And I think that's going to be really good for this band. I'm supposed to be kind of a background rhythm guitar player, mainly acoustic guitar driven, but I may be dabbling in some electric stuff as well. So they told me to bring it with. So it'll be that Squier and my AC-15. So yeah, so both of those guitars have been pretty sweet. I used the Telecaster in band practice, like I said, and Corbin had commented on, like, he could kind of tell the difference, and it was butter to play all night long. And you know, maybe that's one of the weird things to kind of get used to. You get used to an instrument, and you're kind of like, you have to fight it a little bit, and some of that fight is fun. And so I never shy away from that. And ultimately, kind of after before I had band practice, Brian had kind of commented to me about like the strings maybe not being thick enough for that low of tuning, but I really didn't struggle. It played like butter, and it was nice, and I was able to bend all the notes I wanted to and do all the things. Yeah, and So with that, my pickups, I don't think Brian adjusted them, and I didn't really touch them either. They sound pretty good, but that might be a thing that I still do, is adjust those pickups, and I should do it sooner than later. Um, Kind of one of those things where, like, I've made videos about how big of a deal that is and how much it really can change a guitar and make it into something really cool. When you're maybe not sure where it fits in the rest of your guitars. So I'm gonna mess with pickup height again on that one, just because I know the strings are so much closer to the pickups, or to the body of the guitar as well. So some adjusting there might need to happen. Other than that, yeah, I'm practicing these songs on acoustic guitar for the new band. I'm really excited about that. It's I really hope that opportunity kind of pans out. I really enjoy like playing like these 3 songs that they've kind of picked are really great, like kind of easy songs to sing and play, and I've really been trying to push myself to do that, and I've learned a few songs over the past few years, but I really do like kind of stall out on them. I work on them for a bit and then I start working on other stuff. Kind of having to get ready for this band has forced me to like learn these songs and get them down, and they're really fun songs to play. They're those kind of songs where, like, maybe at first when you first hear them, or just as a listener, they don't feel that significant, but then once you start to learn them, man, they're just really great songs to kind of pour your heart into and play and sing along to. So I'm really excited about that, even if it doesn't like work out with that band. Like, I'm really grateful that it's kind of forced me to learn some new songs that hopefully at one point I can get down good enough to sing and play on my own, just in an acoustic setting. So that's really exciting. Music that I've been listening to lately, I've kind of been going back into some heavy metal stuff lately. Been a little frustrated, a little angry. So kind of digging into some of that stuff that lets me release some of that built up tension inside, frustration, daily work, life stuff. We all get frustrated and have rough days and good days, and good months and bad months, and going through it, feeling it, feeling frustrated and angry sometimes, and that's all right. And so, yeah, I've been, the Architects' Holy Hell album is maybe one of my favorite albums, like when I'm, like, I need to kind of work through some stuff. Just lyrically, that album really helps me too. Kind of that album does a really good job of like putting the whole world in perspective, for me anyways. And then some Slipknot stuff, the Unsainted album, not the last one they put out, but the one before that. I like to go to that one. Both of those albums helped me through other tough times, so they kind of come up in my head as like, these are good albums to get you through tough times. So yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's any other albums. I was listening to some Fire from the Gods today, which I was listening to the Narrative album, kind of their first one that I was introduced to. I think they'd be a really good fit for like us to play with, No Regard. Kind of rap, rock, metal. They're like more rap, metal, and we'd be more like rap, rock, or like rap, alt rock. I don't know where we fit into the equation, but I just, when I was listening to them, I was like, you know, we could open for these guys. We have some softer stuff, but we got some heavy stuff too, you know. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to stop this video right here. That's my update for the week. I'll put some guitar playing at the beginning and end of me sitting here talking, so you can kind of hear the guitar in band practice. Oh, we have our first show of 2025 booked and set up. So No Regard is playing at our Acadia Cafe in Minneapolis on January 17th on a Friday night. Pretty stoked about that. Should be fun. Playing with Duck Bomb, Nectaros, and a band called Camouflage. So that's going to be really exciting. I'll kind of fill you guys in as we get closer and what I'm thinking. I already know my rig right now consists of 2 amps, my Princeton reissue with a Cannabis Rex speaker and the tweed wrap around it. And then my AC-15 with a greenback in it. I run both of those right now, but I know that this stage isn't going to be big enough for 2 amps. So for the next few weeks, I got to go back down to 1 amp at band practice to be as ready as possible for the show. But yeah, that's my plan, is the AC-15, the Telecaster. It'll be the first time on stage for the Tele. Pretty exciting. Yeah, I'm excited. All right.